Madam rides the bus. Part 2. Well, one fine spring day, the afternoon bus was just on the point of leaving the village and turning into the main highway when a small voice was heard shouting, "Stop the bus! Stop the bus!" And tiny hand was raised commandingly. The bus slowed down to a crawl, and the conductor, sticking his head out the door, said, "Hurry then! Tell whoever it is to come quickly." "It's me," shouted Wali. "I am the one who has to get on." By now the bus had come to a stop, and the conductor said, "Oh, really? You don't say so." "Yes, I simply have to go to town," said Wali, still standing outside the bus, "and here is my money." She showed him some coins. Okay, but first you must get on the bus," said the conductor, and he stretched out a hand to help her up. "Never mind, I can get on by myself. You don't have to help me." The conductor was a joyful sort, fond of joking. "Oh, please don't be angry with me, my fine madam," he said. "Here, have a seat right up there in front. Everybody, move aside, please. Make way for madam." It was a slack time of day, a time when there is not much work, and there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. They were all looking at Wali and laughing with the conductor. Wali was overcome with shyness. Avoiding everyone's eye, she walked quickly to an empty seat and sat down. "May we start now, madam?" the conductor asked, smiling. Then he blew his whistle twice, and the bus moved forward with a roar. It was a new bus. Its upside painted a gleaming white with some green strips along the sides. Inside, the overhead bars shone like silver, directly in front of Wali, above the windshield. Above the windshield, there was a beautiful clock. The seats were soft and luxurious. Wali devoured everything with her eyes, swallowed everything with her eyes. Means she had a proper look at everything. But when she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by a canvas blind that covered the lower part of her window. So she stood up on the seat and peered over the blind. The bus now going along the bank of a canal. The road was very narrow. On one side there was the canal, and beyond it palm trees, grassland, distant mountains, and the blue sky. On the other side was a deep ditch, and then acres and acres of green fields, green, as far as the eye could see. Oh, it was all so wonderful. Suddenly she was startled by a voice. "Listen, child," said the voice. "You shouldn't stand like that. Sit down." Sitting down, she looked to see who had spoken. It was an elderly man who had honestly been concerned for her, but she was annoyed by his attention. "There is nobody here who is a child," she said, huftily, proudly. "I have paid my 30 paise like everyone else." The conductor chimed in. "Oh, sir, but this is a very grown-up madam. Do you think a mere girl would pay her own fare and travel to the city all alone?" Wali shot an angry glance at the conductor and said, "I am not a madam, please remember that. And you have not yet given me my ticket." "I'll remember," the conductor said, mimicking, copying her tone. Everyone laughed, and gradually Wali too joined in the laughter. The conductor punched a ticket and handed it to her. "Just sit back and make yourself comfortable. Why should you stand when you have paid for a seat?" "Because I want to," she answered, standing up again. But if you stand on the seat, you may fall and hurt yourself when the bus makes a sharp turn or hits a bump. That's why we want you to sit down, child. I am not a child, I tell you, she said irritably. I am 8 years old. Of course. How stupid of me. 8 years. My. The bus stopped. Some new passengers got on, and the conductor got busy for a time. Afraid of losing her seat, Valli finally sat down. An elderly woman came and sat beside her. Are you all alone, dear? She asked Valli as the bus started again. Valli found the woman absolutely repulsive, causing strong dislike. Such big holes she had in her earlobes and such ugly earrings in them. And she could smell the betel nut the woman was chewing and see the betel juice that was threatening to spill over her lips at any moment. Ugh! Who could be so sociable with such a person? Yes, I am traveling alone, she answered curtly, showing displeasure. And I have got a ticket too. Yes, she is on her way to town, said the conductor, with a 30 paise ticket. Oh, why don't you mind your own business? Said Valli. But she laughed all the same, and the conductor laughed too. But the old woman went on with her drivel in silly nonsense. Is it proper for such a young person to travel alone? Do you know exactly where you are going in town? What's the street? What's the house number? You needn't bother about me. I can take care of myself, Valli said, turning her face towards the window and staring out. Why does the conductor call Valli madam? Why does Valli stand up on the seat? What does she see now? What does Valli tell the elderly man when he calls her a child? Why didn't Valli want to make friends with an elderly woman? We will go through all these, the lesson again, this part of the lesson, and answer these questions. Thank you.